You saw me, didn't you?
What would you do if you kept seeing the same nightmare over and over again, and then one day you find out it actually happened in real life? Stay with me on this one, because this isn't just a dream story. This is something that followed me, even when I was awake. Alright, so this happened a few years ago. My name's Kevin, and I'm from New York. Now, I'm not the kind of guy who scares easy. I don't really believe in ghosts, spirits, or any of that creepy stuff people talk about late at night. But after this, I don't know anymore. See, every time I used to visit my grandparents' house, something weird would happen. At first, I didn't think much of it. Just a random dream, right? But then it kept happening. The same dream. Again. And again. And again. And every single time, it got more detailed. So in the dream, I'd see my grandparents' house. But not the normal version. This version was on fire. I'm talking full flames, like the whole place was burning down. The sky looked dark, the air felt heavy, and everything was just off. But that's not even the worst part. Standing on top of the house was a woman. Her body was completely burned, like charred black. You couldn't even see her face properly. But somehow, I knew she was looking straight at me. And then, she would start laughing. Not normal laughing. It was loud, broken, almost like it was echoing inside my head. And every time I saw this dream, I'd wake up sweating like crazy. Heart racing. But by morning, I'd forget most of it. Like it never even happened. So one summer, me and my cousins went to stay at my grandparents' place. Now their room was pretty big, so all of us kids would sleep there together. It was kind of fun, late-night jokes, random stories, all that. That night, same thing. We laid down on the floor with mattresses, talking nonsense until we all passed out. I remember I was sleeping closest to the door. And that's when it happened again. This time, it wasn't just a dream. It felt way too real. I was in the same room. Same setup. Same people sleeping around me. But something was off. The door slowly creaked open. And that woman walked in. Yeah, the same one. Burned skin. Slow steps. And that presence. It felt heavy, like the air itself didn't want her there. I could see myself sleeping. Like I was watching my own body from outside. And she was staring straight at me. Not my body. Me. It felt like she knew I was watching. Then she turned around and walked out of the room. And for some reason, I followed her. I didn't even think about it. It was like something was pulling me. I don't remember everything clearly after that. But I remember the ending. I was outside the house. And everything was on fire. Flames everywhere. Smoke filling the sky. And there she was again. Standing on top of the house. Burning. Laughing. And this time, I heard something else. A child crying. Faint, but clear enough to make my chest feel tight. And then, I woke up. I shot up instantly. Breathing heavy. Sweating like crazy. I didn't even think. I just got up and went straight to my grandma's bed and slept next to her. Yeah, I was that freaked out. But here's the weird part. By morning, I felt normal. Like the fear just disappeared. And I didn't tell anyone. I just brushed it off like, just another bad dream. But deep down, something didn't feel right. A few months later, something happened in my family. And during a random conversation, I heard a story. A story about that same house. A story I had never heard before. And the moment I heard it, everything connected. The dream, the woman, the fire, even that crying child. And that's when I realized that wasn't just a dream. But what I found out next made me question everything I thought I knew about reality. Because that burning woman, she wasn't just in my dreams. She used to live in that house. And what happened to her is way more disturbing than you think. So yeah, after that night, I didn't think much of it. Life just went back to normal. School, friends, random stuff. And that dream? It just stopped. Like it never happened. And honestly, I was glad. Because deep down, I knew. If it came back again, something worse was coming with it. About 6 to 7 months later, something serious happened in our family. One of our relatives passed away. The whole house felt heavy that day. Everyone was talking in low voices, sitting together, remembering things. You know that kind of atmosphere. I was just sitting nearby, not really part of the conversation, but still listening. That's when the topic suddenly changed. And my mom said something that made my stomach drop. Fearful faced the story of the house. She started talking about something that happened years ago. In that same house. Yeah, my grandparents' house. Apparently, back then, the lower floor was rented up to a family. A husband, a wife, and their little kid. At first, everything seemed normal. But it wasn't. That guy, the husband, he was messed up. Drinking all the time. Coming home late. Starting fights for no reason. And not just arguments. He used to physically abuse his wife. And sometimes even the kid. Puzzle pieced the pattern of abuse. My grandfather and uncle tried to step in a few times. Like, they warned him, told him to get his act together. But you know how people like that are. In front of others, he'd act all normal. Apologize. Pretend everything's fine. And then behind closed doors? Same cycle again. Screaming. Crying. Things breaking. It got so bad that even the neighbors started noticing. At one point, the police were even called. But no one pushed it further. Because back then, people used to say, it's a family matter. Eventually, my uncle got tired of it. He told them straight up, you've got 1 week. Move out. That was it. No more chances. But when that guy found out, he completely lost it. That night, he came home drunk again. And what happened next? No one saw directly. But everyone heard something. Screaming. Loud, desperate screaming. But by the time anyone reacted, it was already too late. The next morning, people found out what happened. The wife. She couldn't take it anymore. All that abuse. All that pain. She snapped. She locked herself inside. With her child. And set the room on fire. When my mom said that, I swear, my whole body went cold. Because in that moment, every single piece clicked. The burning house. The woman. The child crying. The laughter. That wasn't random. That wasn't imagination. That was memory. Not mine. But something that happened there. But it didn't stop there. My mom said something else. Something small, but terrifying. She said, some people claimed they heard strange sounds from that part of the house even after the incident. Not all the time. Just sometimes. Late at night. Like footsteps. Or faint crying. Or something moving. At that point, I wasn't even listening anymore. I was just sitting there, thinking about that dream. That woman standing on the roof, burning, laughing, and looking straight at me. And then it hit me. What if she wasn't just showing me what happened? What if she knew I could see her? Because think about it. Why would I see that dream only when I stayed at that house? Why the same dream 3 times? Why so detailed, even before I knew the story? And the worst part, why did it feel like she was trying to show me something? Or maybe trying to reach out? After that day, I never talked about it. Not to my family. Not to my friends. I just kept it to myself. And slowly, life moved on again. No more dreams. No more strange feelings. Nothing. Because just when I thought it was all over, something else happened. Something completely different. Different place. Different time. But the same feeling. That same presence. And this time, I wasn't dreaming. I was fully awake. And what happened next made me realize one thing. Some things don't stay where they belong. They follow you. And this next encounter, it didn't just watch me. It spoke to me. So yeah, after everything I heard, I tried to convince myself it was all just coincidence. Just my brain connecting random dots. Dream plus story equals overthinking. Simple. At least, that's what I wanted to believe. Because the alternative was way worse. A while later, I got posted to a different area for work. Near the Bhutan border. It was kinda peaceful out there. Mountains, forest roads, barely any traffic. Not gonna lie. I actually liked it. I'd finish work early, head back, play games, chill, normal life. The only downside? My place was like 30 to 35 kilometers away from the office. So yeah, long rides every day. One evening, around 3 p.m., I was riding back home on my bike. The road was almost empty. Just trees, hills, and that quiet, you know, the kind that feels a little too quiet. And then, I saw her, walking on the side of the road. A woman. She looked normal at first glance, maybe around 30. Wearing simple clothes. Nothing unusual. So I just passed her. Didn't think much of it. But for some reason, something felt off. After I crossed her, I checked my rearview mirror. Just out of curiosity. And she was gone. Like, completely gone. No one behind me. No footsteps. No movement. Nothing. I even slowed down, turned my head back. Empty road. That's when I got this weird feeling in my chest. Like, yeah, something's not right. Instead of leaving, I stopped. Yeah, worst decision. I parked my bike and started looking around. The area was full of bamboo trees. No houses. No paths. Nowhere she could have just disappeared into that fast. I searched for a few minutes. Nothing. Not a single sign of her. Eventually, I just shook it off and went home. Told myself, "You're tripping, bro, relax." That night, I went to sleep like normal. But suddenly, I woke up. Or at least, I thought I did. My eyes were open. I could see my room. But I couldn't move. Yeah, sleep paralysis. I'd had it before, so I knew the drill. Don't panic. Just wait it out. That's what I told myself. So I closed my eyes again. Tried to calm down. And then, I felt it. Cold hands. Wrapping around me. From behind. Not just cold. Freezing. Like ice pressing against my skin. And slowly, that cold feeling started spreading through my whole body. That's when I knew. This wasn't normal. I tried to stay calm. But I couldn't. So I whispered, "Who's there?" And right next to my ear, I heard a voice. A girl's voice. Soft. Almost sweet. She said, "You don't know me, so what will you do with my name?" Bro. That voice wasn't scary in the usual way. It wasn't deep or distorted. It was calm. Too calm. Like someone talking to you, normally. And somehow, that made it worse. I kept my eyes shut tight. Didn't want to see anything. I just said, "Please, leave me alone." For a second, there was silence. And then she said, "I will never leave you. I'll always stay with you." At that point, I was done. Heart pounding. Breathing heavy. I forced myself to speak again. "Why?" And then she answered. Something I'll never forget. She said, "Because you were looking for me." After that, I don't remember anything. I just passed out. Next morning, I woke up with a high fever. Body weak. Mind messed up. And the worst part? I was alone. That whole day. I couldn't relax. Didn't want to sleep. Didn't want to be awake either. Just stuck in that fear. And then, night came again. I tried to stay awake. But eventually, I fell asleep. And yeah, same thing happened. Paralysis. Cold hands. That presence. And this time, she spoke again. She said, "Don't you like me?" I stayed silent. Then again, my husband didn't like me either. That's why he killed me. My blood froze. Because now, this wasn't just random. This was a story. Her story. Then she said, "Go to that village, find me there, then I'll leave you." Next day, I actually went. Yeah, I know, crazy. But I needed answers. With the help of a local guy, I found out the truth. There was a woman. Married. Unhappy. Abused. And recently, she was found dead. Hanging from a tree. Declared as suicide. But people suspected. It wasn't. After that, I went to a local spiritual guy. Told him everything. He looked at me and said, "You're lucky you're still alive." He gave me something, told me to use it for protection. I followed everything exactly. And after that, she never came back. No dreams. No voice. No presence. Nothing. But even today, I still think about it. Was it just sleep paralysis? My brain creating stories? Or did something actually reach out to me? Because one thing still doesn't make sense. How did I see things before I even knew they existed? And honestly, I don't know what's more terrifying. That she was real, or that for a moment she chose me. Fearful face fire.